procurement and the ABC amount. We attach market scope and CMPD and to be implemented by the maintenance section. And shown here is the last page as proof na approve po ang PPMP. And here shown is the sub-allotment advice where shown the legal basis of the funding of the project. And this here is shown is the location plan and the vicinity map showing the station limits of sections. Here are the summary of quantities with other general services, earthworks, and survey scores and survey scores with quantities in square meters and cubic meters, all on the PCCP carriageway. Shown here is the first segment with the station limits kilometer 1477 plus 200 going to kilometer 1477 plus 213.5 with total of 9 blocks. Okay. This is shown in the screen is the typical roadway cross section showing the 3 lanes to be reblocked, both inner lanes and the left outermost lane. This is the second segment shown with station limits kilometer 1480 plus 395.5 going to kilometer 1490 plus 431.5 with total of 3 blocks to be replaced. Shown here is the typical roadway section with shaded green under QRF and the blue one is under the 71X. And this is the third segment with station limits kilometer 1489 plus 559 going to kilometer 1489 plus 608.5 with a total of 10 blocks to be replaced. And here is the typical section showing the left lane shaded red, which is the identified PCCP side to be reblocked. This is a segment showing another 9 blocks of right lane to be replaced with station limits kilometer 1489 plus 580 going to kilometer 1489 plus 620.50. And this is the typical roadway cross section showing 71X and under QRF funds. And next is the station limits with station limits kilometer 1489 plus 715.50 going to kilometer 1489 plus 787.5. With several blocks to be replaced all on the left lane. And this is the typical roadway section of the previous presented slide showing the left lane as to be removed and replaced with 280 mm thick PCCP. And this is the last segment showing 3 blocks to be replaced from station limit kilometer 1490 plus 395.50 going to kilometer 1490 plus 431.50. And this is the typical section showing the different shades based on funding, and which is the blue one is the under the 71X. And shown here is the typical plan for 4 lanes of reblocking with details. And this one here is for 1 lane reblocking in the considering it is located in the middle lanes. Shown here is one lane for reblocking with only having 2 lanes. And shown here is the typical section for reblocking for both lanes with 2 existing lanes. And this is the schedule for reblocking with corresponding station limits with a total of 51 blocks and for a total of 807.08 square meters. And this is the snap of the approved cover for the program of works showing the approved ABC amount. And this is the ABC with the same amount as the presented program of works. Next. Okay na. And that's the end of my presentation regarding that 26
So,
LC.
thank you, Sir John. The BC members of the BC back members, any query regarding the presentation?
None, Mr. Chair.
How about the implementing unit?
None, Mr. Chair.
Sure. BACSEC, any query?
None, Mr. Chair.
So, next presenter, please.
Once again, good afternoon, Mr. Chair, and good afternoon, everyone.
Before that, asa gani ang kuan sa gamay lang ni isa lang kapangutana. Ang mix ninyo sa is it plant mix or namoy batching?
Ready mix concrete ang gamit sa ano po, sir?
A ready mix?
Yes po, sir. So, ano siya, sir? Diretso siya buhos from batching plant. Supply and delivery siya na klase.
Okay. Thank you. Next
Thank you, Mr.
presenter,
Chair.
please. The same presenter.
Yes po, sir. Good afternoon once again. As for the contract ID number 26LC0064 with project name 71X, Special Maintenance Project, Repair and Maintenance of Damaged Concrete Pavement along Kapalong-Talaingod-Valencia, Bukidnon Road, with kilometer 1488 plus 397 going to kilometer 1488 plus 419.50, kilometer 1497 plus 590.50 going to kilometer 1497 plus 622, and kilometer 1505 plus 560 going to 1505 plus 587.50, kilometer 1517 563 going to 1517 plus 585.50, and kilometer 1521 plus 773 going to kilometer 1521 plus 791. With ABC amount of 2,520,618.29 centavos. Source of fund, FY 2026 RA 12314, regular 2026 current, with project duration of 60 calendar days. Shown here is the portion highlighted, 26LC0064, competitive bidding with market scoping and CMPD, and to be implemented by the maintenance section. Shown here is the legal basis for the source of fund of the project with a total of 108,144,000 pesos. Shown here is the vicinity map showing the sections, the 5 sections along Kapalong-Talaingod-Valencia, Bukidnon Road. First is from kilometer 1488 plus 397 going to 1488 plus 419.5, showing the left inner lane with 5 blocks to be replaced. And next is from kilometer 1497 plus 590.5 going to 1497 plus 622 with 7 blocks to be replaced all on the left side. Next is from kilometer 1505 plus 560 going to 1505 plus 587 with both lanes to be replaced and a total of 12 blocks. Next is from kilometer 1517 plus 563 going to 1517 plus 585.50 with both lanes to be repaired or replaced with a total of 10 blocks and 5 blocks per lane. Last but not the least, from kilometer 1521 plus 773 going to 1521 plus 791, only left lane, 4 blocks to be replaced. Shown here is the typical roadway cross-section for reblocking on one lane only and both lanes to be replaced. And this one here is showing the 4-lane road section, a cross-section of the road showing the left inner lane shaded with orange to be replaced. And here is the typical plan for PCCP 4 lanes for reblocking, considering that the left inner lane is to be replaced. Next, here is typical plan for 2 lanes of PCCP with 1 lane to be replaced. And this one is the typical plan of PCCP for 2 lanes with both lanes to be repaired and replaced. And the schedule for reblocking with corresponding, with 5 sections with corresponding number of blocks and area to be replaced, a total of 572.86 and 38 blocks, which is 38 blocks. Shown here is the snap of the approved cover page for the program of works with total amount 2,520,618 and 29 centavos. And here is the ABC showing the same amount of 2,520,618.29 centavos. And that's the end of my presentation, Mr.
Thank
Chair.
you, Sir John. Any query from the back members? Implementing unit.
None, Mr. Chair.
Back.
None, Mr. Chair.
Pakibalik sa kwan, sa diagram showing the reinforcement. Sir John, what magbuhos ba? Tapos nakasugod na ka sa either side. Tapos ni kusog ang ulan, no? So, nihunong lang ka sa, kutob lang ka sa second block. Misi asa magsugod. Kung sa'yo may tabo sa bakal.
Magbilin taog katong dowel bars kung asa ang last buhos, sir.
Okay. So, noted na per me.
Yes po, sir.
Okay, thank you. So, next presenter, please. The last one.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair. In behalf of Engineer Sion, I will be presenting with the contract ID 25LC0065. With the project name of 63X Resurfacing of Unpaved Shoulder along Kapalong-Talaingod-Valencia, Bukidnon Road, S0 1363 MN, kilometer 1486 plus 100 to kilometer 1487 160 both sides with the approved budget for the contract of 500,000. Source of fund FY 2026 RA 12314 regular 2026 current with a duration of 20 calendar days. This is our PPMP showing the project and it's already approved po. And this is our sub-allotment advice. And for our location plan, showing the station limits and the vicinity map. And for our summary of quantities, we have project billboard, signboard, occupational safety and health, traffic management, mobilization and demobilization, and the gravel surface course. This is the straight line diagram showing proposed item of works with attached pictures of the station limits. And this is our typical cross-section. And this is our approved program of work showing the approved amount. And this is our approved budget for the contract. That's all, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you for the presentation. Any query from the back members?
Mr. Chair, pa-verify lang na ako. Naamoy target. Wala mo na ako nakita sa PAW. Target. Physical target. Unsa 3/2? Target amount. Unsa na siya? Physical target. Dapat kuan man siya, of carriageway man na siya, so dapat square meter. Oo. Is that 2/2?
Can you make it larger?
2.12 po, ma'am.
2.12 both sides. Sa man lang 2. Square meter man gud siya kay duha man siya ka side no, so times pila man ang iyahang width. Same ang shoulder. Every 1,000 man yata ng Kapalong-Talaingod. If I'm not mistaken sa RBIA, murag wala na siya lilapas na ano.
km po ang nakabutang, ma'am.
It should be in square meter.
Okay. About implementing unit. Any query?
None, Mr. Chair.
Backsec.
None, Mr. Chair.
The requirements of the bidding documents. Backsec.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair. Good afternoon, everyone. So the requirements of bidding documents, including invitation to bid, instruction to bidders, bid data sheets, general conditions of contract, special conditions of contract, specifications, drawings, bill of quantities, and Philippine bidding documents related forms. The bidding documents were posted on the DPWH website and PhilJeps. Amendments in the provision of the bidding documents shall be issued through a supplemental bid bulletin and will be posted in the bid bulletin and notices. Documents to be submitted by the bidder, technical and financial proposals. Bids must be duly received by the procuring entities back at Kilometer 48, Barangay Kanukutan, Tagum City, Davao del Norte for manual submission, or at electronicbids_Davao del Norte at dpwh.gov.ph for electronic submission. Bidders should only select one mode of submission, either manual or electronic. For electronic submission, prior to the deadline of submission of bids, the prospective bidder shall send an email attaching the copy of the official receipt of purchase of bidding documents in portable document file or PDF format. Only the electronic bids of bidders who have successfully submitted an electronic official receipt shall be accepted. Prospective bidders shall prepare their bids in 2 file folders in appropriate documents and file format, each for the technical and financial components. Only during the actual opening of bids shall the bidder disclose the passwords for his electronic bid. This can be done by the bidder's authorized representative verbally in person, through phone call, online platforms, or through writing. For joint venture, the format of PCAB ID to be used by the bidder in naming their file shall be the PCAB ID of the lead member. The step-by-step detailed procedure of electronic submission is stipulated in the Bidding Documents Clause 22 and in the Department Order 87 Series of 2020. Also included in the Department Order are the steps for the modification of an electronic bid, non-participation in the bidding, withdrawal of electronic bid and proper email subject, and the file name for each file to be submitted to designated email address. For the technical proposal, field job certificate of registration, platinum membership in accordance with Section 20 of the IRR, PCAB license and registration in case of joint venture. Statement of all its ongoing government and private contracts, including contracts awarded but not yet started, if any, whether similar or not similar in nature and complexity to the contract to be bid. Statement of the bidder's single largest completed contract or SLCC in accordance with ITB Clause 5-5. The single largest completed contract or SLCC shall be supported by an owner's certificate of financial acceptance issued by the project owner other than the contractor, or a final rating of at least satisfactory in the CPES, or a similar performance and monitoring system. In case of contracts with the private sector, an equivalent document shall be submitted. Net financial contracting capacity or NFCC computation in accordance with ITB Clause 5-6. Joint venture agreement, if applicable, which requires special PCAB license and registration with percentage of the 2 contractors. The bid security in prescribed form, amount, and validity period. The bidder at its option shall submit a bid security in the form of a bid securing declaration or any of the following: the amount of not less than 2% of ABC if bid security is in cash, the amount of not less than 2% of ABC if bid security is in cashier's check, the amount of not less than 2% of ABC if bid security is in manager's check, and the amount of not less than 5% of ABC if surety bond. In case of extension of bid validity and bid security validity period, substitution of the bid security form is allowed. Bid securing declaration and the following forms may be used: cash or cashier's or manager's check issued by a bank, surety bond callable upon demand issued by a surety or insurance company duly certified by the Insurance Commission as authorized to issue such security. Bid shall remain valid for the period specified in the BDS, which shall not exceed 120 calendar days from the date of the opening of bids. Should it become necessary to extend the validity of the bids and the bid securities beyond 120 calendar days, the procuring entity concerned shall request in writing all those who submitted bids for such extension before the expiration date therefor. Any discrepancy in the amount, even a centavo, means non-compliant. Project requirements, which shall include the following: organizational chart of the personnel to be deployed for the procurement project to be bid, list of contractors' personnel, example, project manager, project engineers, materials engineers, and foremen. to be assigned to the procurement project to be bid with their complete qualifications and experience data. These personnel must meet the required minimum years of experience set in the BDS. As per Department Order Number 9, Series of 2012, if a proposed key technical personnel is an employee of the bidder and working on another project at the time of the bidding, the bidder shall submit a certification that the personnel will be pulled out from the ongoing project once the bidder is awarded a contract, and he or she will be replaced with another person with equal or better qualifications as certified by the head of the implementing office. The bidder may propose a key technical personnel who is not its employee, provided that the said personnel is required to submit a certification that he or she will work for the bidder if it is awarded a contract under bidding. The said certification shall be included in the first envelope of the sealed bid. As per Department Order Number 252, Series of 2025, issued by the Department of Labor and Employment, revised implementing rules and regulations of Republic Act Number 11058, entitled An Act Strengthening Compliance with Occupational Safety and Health Standards and Providing Penalties for Violations thereof. Under Section 10, Safety in the Use of Equipment, to quote, operator shall undergo appropriate training and certification from the Technical Education and Skills Development Authority or TESDA, the Professional Regulation Commission or PRC, or other relevant government agencies before using the equipment. The DOLE may recognize training provided by equipment manufacturers, suppliers, or international organizations if it is not available locally. Accredited Safety Officer, requirements for approval of Construction Safety and Health Program, required upon issuance of notice of award. In compliance with DOLE Department Order Number 252, Series of 2025, under Section 22, Occupational Safety and Health Standards for the Construction Industry. First aider with certificate of training issued by Philippine Red Cross or an organization authorized by the Secretary of Labor and Employment. Requirements for the approval of Construction Safety and Health Program, required upon issuance of notice of award. In compliance with DOLE Department Order Number 252, Series of 2025, under Section 22, Occupational Safety and Health Standards for the Construction Industry. In compliance with Section 17 of DOLE Department Order Number 13, the implementation of construction safety shall be considered in all stages of project procurement, design, estimate, and construction, and its cost shall be integrated to the overall project cost under pay item B.71 and B.72, Occupational Safety and Health, as a lump sum amount to be quantified in the detailed estimate. The lease of contractors' major equipment, units which are owned, leased, or under purchase agreements, supported by proof of ownership or certification of availability of equipment from the equipment lessor or vendor for the duration of the project, as the case may be, which must meet the minimum requirements for the contract set in the BDS. As per Department Order 58, Series of 2012, all prospective bidders are mandated to state in their bid documents a complete technical description of their pledged equipment, whether owned or leased, such as but not limited to the engine number, year, model, chassis number, plate number, production capacity, and load capacity. In addition, the prospective bidders should also be required to state in their bid documents the particular place or site where the equipment are located as provided for under Department Order Number 9, Series of 2012. If any piece of equipment is not in the location, then the bidder shall be post-disqualified. Failure of a prospective bidder to comply with the said requirements shall result in the bidder's automatic post-disqualification for award of contract and forfeiture of its bid security. Certification of minimum laboratory equipment duly certified by any DPWH office as per Department Order 11, Series of 2017. Pursuant to Department Order Number 171, Series of 2025, the guidelines on the use of DPWH Performance Evaluation System for constructors, consultants, and supplier. Department of Public Works and Highways recognizes the necessity of institutionalizing formal performance evaluation systems for all types of procurement to ensure that past and ongoing performance records are consistently considered in critical stages of procurement and contract management. At the eligibility stage, pursuant to Section 54.4.2.5 of the IRR for infrastructure projects, bidders shall submit proof of satisfactory past performance, such as a CPAS rating of at least satisfactory or an owner's certificate of final acceptance as equivalent for private sector contracts. Bidders must ensure to the adherence to the Department Order 110 Series of 2024 for the implementation of ISO 9001-2015, certification requirement for large A, medium B, and medium A. Contractors in the performance of infrastructure projects of the department. Hence, bidders must attach to the technical envelope their ISO 9001-2015 certification. Failure to attach will be a disqualification of their bid. Pursuant to Department Order 169 Series of 2025, only accredited project engineers may be assigned to DPWH projects. Omnibus sworn statement in accordance with Section 54.3 of the IRR 11 items. To ensure compliance to memorandum dated February 24, 2026, with the subject clarification on the implementing of beneficial ownership information or BOI, disclosure requirements under the memorandum dated November 19, 2025, in accordance with Section 82 of the Implementing Rules and Regulations of Republic Act Number 12009, which provides for the disclosure of beneficial ownership information for legal entities participating in government procurement. In this regard, and consistent with the intent of said provision, the following implementation guidance is adopted. Considering that the current omnibus statement already incorporates sworn declarations relating to beneficial ownership disclosure, and in order to streamline documentary requirements and avoid duplication of sworn submissions, the separate submission of the sworn affidavit of eligibility and beneficial ownership, Annex A, shall no longer be required. In lieu thereof, disclosure of beneficial ownership shall be established through submission of the latest General Information Sheet or GIS, reflecting beneficial ownership information or BOI, duly filed with a stamp received by the Securities and Exchange Commission or SEC. This requirement shall be specified in the documents comprising the bid as mentioned in item number 4 hereof, and shall be submitted by the bidders in its bid. The requirement shall apply only to the entities enumerated under Section 82 of the IRR, namely legal entities such as corporations, partnership, private sector organizations, foundations, and associations. For the financial proposal, financial bid form, bid prices, bill of quantities in accordance with ITB Clause 13.1. Failure to attach any requirement or any missing, incomplete, or patently insufficient documents in the above-mentioned checklist is a ground for outright rejection of the bid and will fall as non-compliant. All documents to be submitted must be current and updated, otherwise it will be rated as failed. Bidders shall enclose their technical documents in one sealed envelope marked technical component, and the financial component in another sealed envelope marked financial component. Sealing them all in an outer envelope marked bid, and bid's proposal must be in A4 size. Further, the authorized liaison officer will be the one to drop the bids. Bids submitted through courier will not be accepted. Bidders shall submit 2 original copies and 1 copy of certified true copy of the technical and financial components of the bid. The original copy of the bid shall be typed or written in ink and limited to 2 decimal places in amount and shall be signed by the bidder or its duly authorized representative. All envelopes shall contain the name of the contract to be bid in capital letters. Bear the name and address of the bidder in capital letters. Be addressed to the procuring entities back in accordance with ITB Clause 18.1. Bear the specific identification of this bidding process indicated in the ITB Clause 1.1 and bear a warning, do not open before the date and time for the opening of bids in accordance with ITB Clause 19. The bidders are also advised to be responsible on their bids submitted in accordance with the checklist, and their technical and financial proposals should have proper tabbing in words based on the order in the checklist, including proper sequencing of documents in chronological order. Further, bidders are advised not to recycle legal documents or documents attached in the previous submission of bids which have the signatures and countersigns of the back members. Late bids submitted will not be accepted. All forms as mentioned in ITB Clause 17-1 must be completed without any alterations to their format. No substitute form shall be accepted. Each and every page of the bid form, including the bill of quantities under Section 9 hereof, shall be signed by the duly authorized representative of the bidder. Failure to do so shall be a ground for the rejection of the bid. Any insertions, erasures, or overwriting shall be valid only if they are signed or initialed by the duly authorized representative of the bidder. Bidders with lowest bid during the opening of bid is not a guarantee to be awarded for the contract. All bid documents are still subject to detailed bid evaluation and post-qualification prior to be declared as lowest calculated responsive bid and subsequently to be awarded for the contract. The bidders are given 3 days after the bidding to file for a motion for reconsideration.
Criteria and procedure for eligibility check, preliminary examination of bids, detailed evaluation of bids post-qualification, deliberation recommending award and award. After determining the names of the bidders that submitted bids for the contract at hand, the BAC, assisted by its BAC Secretariat, shall check if each bidder that submitted bids is eligible to bid for the contract being procured. This shall be done electronically using the DPWH CWA. The BAC Secretariat shall enter into the CWA the pickup license and/or number of the bidder, or name of the bidder. The CWA program will then electronically process and match the bidder's capability or eligibility data in the CWA. The computer program will automatically determine if the bidder meets the following eligibility requirements. The cost of the bidder's SLCC is at least 50% of the ABC of the project to be procured. The bidder's NFCC is at least equal to the ABC of the project to be procured. The program will also automatically generate the results of the eligibility check. The reasons for ineligibility will also be automatically shown in the notices of ineligibility. Bidding will be conducted through competitive bidding procedures using a non-discretionary pass-fail criterion as specified in the IRR, otherwise known as the New Government Procurement Act or NGPA. This office reserves the right to reject any and all bids, declare a failure of bidding, or not award the contract at any time prior to contract award in accordance with Section 70 of RA number 12009 without thereby incurring any liability to the affected bidder or bidders. The procuring entity will undertake the detailed evaluation and comparison of the bids which have passed the opening and preliminary examination of bids pursuant to ITB Clause 22 to determine the lowest calculated bid. Lowest calculated responsive bidder is the award criterion. The same will be applied to detailed checking, evaluation of the technical proposal. Then the bidder rated as the lowest calculated bid will undergo post-qualification. Once post-qualified, the bidder will be determined as lowest calculated responsive bid and subsequently to be awarded for the contract. All bidders found to have conflicting interest shall be disqualified to participate in the procurement at hand, without prejudice to the imposition of appropriate administrative, civil, and criminal sanctions. All prospective bidders shall be required to submit a sworn disclosure of relations and beneficial ownership, clearly identifying the natural persons who ultimately own, control, or benefit from the bidding entity, whether directly or indirectly, through shareholding, voting rights, contractual agreements, or other means of control. Failure to comply shall be a ground for the automatic disqualification of the bid in consonance with Section 59 of the IRR. For the post-qualification, the bidders were advised to read Department Order No. 127 Series of 2018 and other issuances relative to this matter, since the BAC will be very keen and strict on the conduct of post-qualification process. As per the said DO, the contractor will not be awarded with a certain project if it has a negative slippage of at least 15% in a single contract or at least 10% in 2 or more contracts. Failure of the contractor to commence repair works on ongoing contracts within 7 days and to complete them within 30 days after the receipt of the procuring entity's notice of defects and deficiencies, or failure of the contractor to commence repair works on contracts with pending certificate of acceptance within 30 days and to complete the works within 90 days after the receipt of the procuring entity's notice of defects and failures, or some standard quality of work as per contract plans and specifications, or unsatisfactory performance of the contractor's obligations as per contract terms and conditions at the time of inspection, or liquidated damages currently imposed on the contractor. During post-qualification, even though the contractor is the lowest bidder, still it is subject for further verification to ensure the compliance of the requirements of the contract. With that, we will be sending you a letter being the lowest calculated responsive bid. Moreover, the qualifications and experience of the key technical personnel is subject for verification as part of the post-qualification process as per DO number 127 series of 2018. The BAC, with the assistance of the equipment verification team, will be strict on the compliance of the equipment as part of post-qualification as per DO number 127 series of 2018. The equipment verification team will conduct an inspection on the verification of the equipment pledged by the contractor. That's all, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Questions?
Mr. Chair, allow me to announce
Proceed.
to our prospective bidders that there are common reasons for bidders' failure of their bid. Number one is the failure to follow the posted supplemental bulletin on PhilJEP's and DPWH website. If a contractor may fail in the bidding process, if he or she does not strictly comply with the requirements, revisions, or clarifications stated in the supplemental bulletin posted on the PhilJEP's and DPWH website. There is an incorrect pay item, description, unit, or quantity in the bill of quantities. These errors in the bill of quantities, such as incorrect pay items, description, units of measurement, or quantities, may result in disqualification during the evaluation of bids. The inconsistencies in the equipment pledge and supporting documents, the contractor may be disqualified if the equipment listed in the equipment pledge does not match the attached supporting documents such as official receipt, certificate of registration, proof of ownership, or lease agreement. All details, example, equipment type, plate number, capacity, and ownership information must be consistent and properly documented. If there is non-compliance with SLCC supporting documents requirements under Section 52.4.2.5, so as required by this section, the single largest completed contract must be supported by any of the following: an owner's certificate of final acceptance issued by the project owner, other than the contractor, a final rating of at least satisfactory under the constructor's performance evaluation system or CPES, or a similar performance evaluation or monitoring document. For contracts with the private sector, an equivalent supporting documents must be submitted. Failure to provide the required documentation may result in disqualification. The alteration or substitution of prescribed bidding forms. Section 9, Philippine Bidding Documents Related Forms, ITB Clause 17.1. Pursuant to Section 9 of the Philippine Bidding Documents Related Forms, the forms required under ITB Clause 17.1 must be completed strictly in accordance with their prescribed format. No alterations, modifications, or substitutions of the official form shall be accepted. Any deviation from the required format may lead to the rejection of the bid. For corporation and partnership, failure to attach the GIS reflecting the BOI duly received by SEC and sworn affidavit in their bid as part of their eligibility in compliance to Section 82 of the IRR of RA 12009 on the Declaration of Beneficial Ownership shall also be ground for disqualification. Failure to specify the applicable taxes itemized in the detailed estimate using the prescribed bid form, particularly under Declaration E, shall be a ground for disqualification. This is in accordance with the instruction to bidders, ITB Clause 17.2, and as provided under Section 9 of the Philippine Bidding Documents. The forms referred to in ITB Clause 17.1 must be duly accomplished and submitted without any alteration to their prescribed format. Also, we would like to inform or remind our prospective bidders that they have the obligation to fully and truthfully disclose all ongoing and awarded but not yet started contract, including DPWH, other government and private contracts, by submitting the duly accomplished statement. Failure to submit and declare any ongoing and awarded but not yet started contract constitutes a ground for disqualification and imposition of appropriate sanction. That's all, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Questions, comments from the bidders? Replies of BAC and other representatives of the procuring entity?
Good afternoon, everyone. There are 3 concurrent viewers, 28 views, and there is no comment, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Thank you. Other matters, BACSEC?
For information and guidance for the prospective bidders that our government issued a memorandum and department orders. Number 1, interim guidelines upon lifting of suspension on procurement activities for locally funded civil works projects as referred into DPWH memorandum dated September 16, 2025. Under this memorandum, live streaming of bidding activities, see Section 38.2 of the IRR of RA 12009, geotagging of project sites under DO 85 series of 2020, preparation of a straight line diagram under DO 246 series of 2024, net financial contracting capacity, see Section 52.4.1.4 of the IRR of RA 12009, and number 2, bidders' responsibilities, Philippine Bidding Documents Procurement of Infrastructure Projects. Number 3, Department Order Number 28 Series of 2024 dated February 26, 2024, subject 3 strike policy of infrastructure, goods, and consulting services contracts. Number 4, Occupational Safety and Health Program in the instruction to bidders. Number 5, Department Order Number 241, Series of 2024, subject guidelines on the processing, approval, and reporting system of construction safety and health program for DPWH's infrastructure projects. Number 6, Department Order Number 171, Series of 2025, dated August 30, 2025, subject guidelines on the use of DPWH performance evaluation systems for constructors, consultants, and suppliers. And lastly, number 7, directive to require submission of general information sheet reflecting beneficial information under memorandum dated February 24, 2026, clarification on the implementation of beneficial information ownership disclosure requirements under the memo dated November 19, 2025. And also, Mr. Chair, we have to remind the prospective bidders that their bid documents must follow the completeness and sufficiency of the bid. The discounts offered should be clearly and legibly written with signatures so that the back will be able to read it during the opening of bids. Contractors are not allowed to follow up their bids during evaluation period until the issuance of the notice of award unless the back in writing requests for a clarification of its bids. The no contract role policy will be strictly observed. Whatever submitted during the drafting of bids will be evaluated. Submission of lacking or another document is not allowed. If there are any changes in the basic contract data of these projects, kindly closely check and monitor the DPWH and PhilJEP's websites for information and guidance regarding bid bulletin, and also if there are amendments to the bidding documents of these projects and all other notices, example, postponement or re-advertisement. The opening of bids will be on June 23, 2026. That's all, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. For the summary of proceedings, including supplemental bid bulletins to be issued, Baksek.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair. In summary, there are no changes in the basic contract data as presented and as posted for all contracts under invitation to bid number 2026-011. That's all, Mr. Chair.
Are there any other matters for discussion? If none, any move for adjournment?
Mr. Chair, I move to adjourn.
Second, Mr. Chair.
Adjournment has been moved and duly seconded. Therefore, this proceeding is now adjourned.